want to do a little vlog on my experience at the Junction Campground in Webster, Florida. I was on 11/28 this year, around 7:30 in the morning. I was walking my dog from campsite number 12. We were going through the day use area, and I noticed the rules of the campground. I actually took a picture of it. The very first one is campground is for guests only. The next one is no pets allowed. My pup is a registered emotional support animal, and he's allowed to go in there. And I met up with a friend of mine, and we had a nice night, no issues. The following morning at 7:30, we were going for a nice little walk, check out the park. So as we were going through the day use area, we went down to the boat launch, and we had a nice time. I took a few pictures, and on the way back, we're walking down the dirt road. We come around a bend, and there's a beige brown Pitbull in the middle of the road, and about 100 feet back is the irresponsible dog owner. Now granted, I found out that Florida doesn't have leash laws, but in a state-run campground that has no pets allowed as one of their rules, and campground used for guests only. This was a local. He's there every day. He picks up trash along the dirt road. I talked to other locals, and they said they see him, but they don't really know him. I guess he keeps to himself. Well, I told him to get his dog because the dog started coming towards us. He called his name, Diego. That's his dog's name. He called it a couple times. So me and my dog, who was on the leash, started backing up. The dog came at us, and I went to kick him. I missed because the dog ducked, and while my leg was up in the air, I pulled my dog away from him. That Pitbull attacked and latched onto the backside of my dog. I was able to kick him in the side of the head, and he released, and he ran back to his owner. I do have a short video because I just wanted a description and of the dog and the guy. And I went back, told the guy my dog was bleeding, and he didn't care. I asked him the dog's name just to make sure, got it on video. He said Diego. Well, we went back to the campsite. I called my friend up, and I says, you need to call the police. My dog just got attacked. And I hung up the phone. He called the sheriff's department. They were there pretty quick. I left my dog with him, and I went back to see if the camp host was around, but there was nobody at the campsite. I ended up finding her at the bathrooms. She was cleaning up, and I told her what happened, and she said that Denver, the campground manager, would be in around 8:30. And I saw that there was an emergency line for the FDACS, the Forest Florida, whatever that is. And I called it. I was talking to the dispatcher. I was telling her what was going on. So they have me on that for a phone call. Just as I was talking to her, the sheriff showed up. So I got off the phone with the emergency dispatch and told the sheriff's deputy what happened. And she went to look for him real quick. She was driving along, and I heard her, whatever they do when they want to get somebody's attention from the cruiser. I was starting to feel a lot of pain in my leg. I was getting harder to walk. I guess I overextended my knee. And I walk up, and there's another non-guest local resident in the campground, and he had his dog off the leash. So she's talking to him, and when I got there, he was like, you just missed him by about 5 minutes. Now she drove up the road, so he went down the Hog Island Trail, and there's trails off it, whether he knew or not that the police was coming. I asked the guy if the dog was on the leash, and he said no, it was off. So the guy wasn't concerned that his dog attacked my dog. Just kept on going. And we got all the information. She went down to Hog Island, didn't see him. Drove up the road, drove around the area, because it's a very small community outside the main gate, and didn't see anybody. So she came back, got more information. She was with my dog, checking him out, and they were actually playing. My dog seemed all right. I didn't realize the extent. My dog is a Chow Shepherd, has a lot of fur, and he was bleeding still, but with the adrenaline going, I guess, with him and stuff, he was excited to get the attention. The deputy was a former canine officer, and she had no problems playing with my dog. While I was there, I decided I'm going to show her, just so she knows I'm not bullshitting. I showed her my dog's registered ID emotional support animal, and she handed it back to me. Just as I was done, a white truck pulls up. Man I never met before gets out of the truck, doesn't introduce himself, walks to the back of the truck. Now granted, he's about 25 feet away because we're in our campsite. He's still on the road. He yells to me, "Is your dog a service animal?" The deputy said, "Yes, I saw his ID." He throws up his arms, walks back to the truck, and drives off. That's it. And I didn't know what to make of it, you know, and I was really stressed, anxious, upset. I was in pain, and we're still talking. The deputy is taking down my information, filling out an incident report. About 15 minutes later, the white truck pulls up again. He gets out, doesn't introduce himself, doesn't ask me how I'm doing, doesn't ask me how my dog's doing, trying to make small talk. He's giving me a slight attitude, like he's annoyed and inconvenienced because I was there with a service animal. And so he's there for about 5 minutes, tops. As soon as the deputy said that, okay, the animal control officer is on his way to meet with you, this man abruptly turns around and walks away, gets in his truck, and disappears. That's the last I see of him. Never came back again to my campsite. So the deputy went out looking probably for another hour, driving through the neighborhoods, but he's already gone, he's already home, he's already safe and hiding. And she leaves. Animal control comes to my campsite. He sees my dog, he looks at him, and you know, my dog's excited, he's getting more attention. He's playing with my dog too. No worries about my dog. And he actually said he was a good dog, even the deputy said. Anyways, so he takes down my information. I see him for about an hour and a half driving around, and then he leaves. So as the day goes on, I'm trying to calm down. My buddy's with me, and we're talking about the incident and how strange it was that the campground manager, whose name is Denver, couldn't care less about how I was, how my dog was. He never asked me what happened. And my buddy's like, it really seems like he knows the guy. And as soon as he found out that your dog was a service animal, he disappeared. He could have made a phone call. He could have gone right to the guy's house. And he comes back. He's just standing there listening. He finds out animal control is coming. He disappears again. Very strange. So the day goes on, trying to relax, trying to figure out what we should do, if we should leave. And I live in Ohio. So I clean his wounds. I see that there is blood. I had antiseptic wipes, and I did the best I could. The bleeding slowed down. And so I decided I'm gonna get some sleep because I was really stressed out and exhausted from it. And my friend, he said, you know, I'm gonna go fishing, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take Heimdall for a walk and we'll just relax. I was limping. My dog, my Heimdall, my pup was walking really slow because I couldn't keep up. Anything I did, my leg was killing me, but I'm not gonna stop not walking. I'm a 100% disabled combat veteran with a tour of Operation OIF, and I was retired from the military and civilian life in 2014. I decided I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing and fade away, so I got into hiking, traveling the country. I lived in a Jeep for 3.5 years. I found a home in Ohio, sold the Jeep, bought a new car, got my service animal, got him registered, and we've been hiking through the woods, national forests, not many national parks because I'd rather be in the wilderness. My pup, I have him trained to protect me, and he does it very easily. He's chased a coy wolf away that we walked into on the trail, and we were on the 4th of July, we were down in the Monongahela, I think, National Forest, and decided to go to the George Washington National Forest. And as we were hiking through, a black bear came out. Granted, it wasn't a full grown, it was fairly young, and my dog was able to chase it away. And so I was very proud of him. Well, my dog also, when we walk, I have him trained for when people slow their vehicles down next to us, whether we're out in the woods, whether we're on the street, to, you know, just be protective. He barks a little bit, nothing out of control. So my buddy's gone fishing, and we went up to the parking lot area, and we're just walking along, and the campground manager is in his truck coming from the boat launch area. He's driving slow. My dog barked at him a few times. Nothing crazy, but we're in the day use area. We're not in the campground. There was no complaints from anybody the night before or the morning of. And so he gets really upset, and my buddy saw it, but he was still fishing. He didn't know what was going on. He turned that truck around, came at us faster than the 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Extremely aggressive. Hits his brakes hard. My dog reacts. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what I have him trained for. He's barking. I'm trying to calm him down. He won't listen because this guy, he can tell by me that he reads me, you know what I mean? And he rolls down the window with such an attitude. What kind of service animal is that? My response is a fucking protective one. And he just gave me a nasty look. So I ended up going closer to him. My dog's still barking. I said, listen, I noticed that you have signs at the main gate that says campground under surveillance. I says, could you send the video of the time frame of the man walking into your campground? He got so belligerent. He says, they already have video of the man. And I says, they have a picture that I took. That's all they have. Good boy. And he just stopped real quick. And then he says, if I get one complaint about your dog, I'm throwing you out. And I just shook my head and walked away from him, and he took off like a bat out of hell. Now, I'm stressed. I didn't need to be, victim shamed, blamed for the attack. He didn't provide a safe place. And I absolutely feel that in a small community outside your park, that a man walks in every single day, picks up the trash, and you say you don't know who he is, never ran into him, never seen him, he absolutely refused to say anything about it. So I contacted the owner, who runs the park, the Florida State, whatever it is, I talked to the woman. She took a statement and she showed me compassion. She said, "I am so sorry this has happened to you and your dog." And I said, "That's the compassion I should have got from your employee." And he is a state employee. I told her name and she said, "Yeah." So she took down the information and said in a few days that an investigator is going to get in touch with you. Nobody has yet. So I contacted the registration where I got him his ID card, and they have lawyers, and they contacted me and they told me that it's a civil matter and I should contact a lawyer. So I talked to a lawyer and he said, as for HIPAA laws, he really didn't break any, but the threatening part was the main issue I had, because he's I guess allowed to ask if your dog is a service animal, and he asked what kind of service animal is that, and okay, so be it. Don't threaten me. I was attacked in his park and he threatens me. So we ended up leaving the next morning, packed up. I've been in contact with the deputy and I told her that he threatened me. Her response was, well, afterwards he drove around and he saw that there were other dogs in the campground that weren't service animals. And I said, yeah, I know. I walked my dog. My dog didn't have any reactions to them, and their dogs didn't have any reaction with him. And everything was fine. There was actually a small pup right across in the campground front from us, and there was a kid playing with an RC car in the dirt area, and there was no issues. Everybody was getting along. People were walking by talking, how cute my dog is because he's adorable. And yeah, but she's pretty much saying that he says that he doesn't know, and she's going with that. She doesn't see anything strange in his behavior. He never took an incident report. He never asked my friend what happened, his side. He never asked us anything about how we were doing. And to threaten to throw me out because we're not in the campsite, it's not quiet hours, my dog can't bark at all, we can't try to enjoy the rest of the day, try to get my mind at ease. So I did contact a lawyer, and he said with them having surveillance video, with them having a campground host, with him being in the park every day, driving from point A to point B from his vehicle into the campground, and that person being in the campground unauthorized unless he actually gave him permission, negligence. So I'm waiting to see what the investigator has to say and how they spin this. I got my dog back to Ohio and brought him to his vet, and I have a $350 bill. Florida veterinary services way overpriced for simple procedures. So I got my dog, he's on antibiotics, he's on pain relief. He had to get shaved where his injury is, and there's 3 puncture wounds. One was the left canine that actually has a small tear. They didn't do stitches. I'm cleaning it with saline daily, giving him his meds and stuff. But yeah, I want to just put it out there that, oh, one more thing. The deputy told me that, I don't know why she did, but with her talking to Denver, he said that they were thinking about making it a pet-friendly campground. And I kind of laughed to myself, and I texted, he can't handle a no pet allowed campground, and he's gonna allow dogs in there, more dogs? Come on, seriously. So I just wanted to put it out there that I don't feel that if you have a service animal, if you have small children running around and there's a dangerous pit bull that this man, to me, seems like he's protecting the identity of. And this is back Tuesday. It's now a week later, and they still haven't found the guy in a small community outside the main gate. So I just need to put that out there and warn everybody. I actually put it on Google about it, the attack, and yeah, I just want to let everybody know that is not a safe campground. Whether you're an adult, whatever you're doing, if that man is walking in there with his pit bull, Diego, it's a dangerous situation. So be warned. That's my public service announcement about New River Junction in Florida, Webster, Florida, to be exact, Sumter County. Thanks for watching.